Well, hey guys, and welcome to another video of sorts. I'm not even sure if this is going to be a vlog or what it's going to be, but I do have a very specific topic that I want to speak about today because today, for the first time in 3 years, to the exact date, and not planned by any means, but I donated plasma at a place here in the town that I live called BioLife Plasma Services. They do have branches and stuff throughout the country in different places. I don't know how widespread they are, but I know they are in a lot of different areas of the country. And if you don't know what they do there, they basically take plasma from your blood, a certain amount of it, depending on how much you weigh, and plasma is used in the making of several kinds of medicines and just different kinds of therapeutical services for people, especially people with, I guess, like autoimmune disorders and just anything related to blood and shows you how much I remember about it from the roughly 6 years that I did it. Before this 3-year break that I took for no freaking reason whatsoever. But it went well. I did pretty good. Here's where I'm wrapped up in the arm here. That's only been on there for about an hour, and I like to go about 2 hours before I take that off. But just to kind of give you an idea, that's about as intrusive as it gets once you're done doing the whole thing. Condensed, I guess, kind of description of what happens when you go and donate. You walk in the door. I had to do the physical, which is something that has to be done once a year at around the same time. And then if you've been gone for a significant amount of time, you have to do it again, which that's just a lot of questions, a lot of, finding out how things have been going for you and medicines that you take and yada, 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 and small, basically unintrusive physical. And then you go to do the donation procedure. You answer a bunch of questions and to determine whether or not there's any reason why you shouldn't be doing this or why you can't do it. And then they take your vitals, which is checking your weight, checking your blood pressure. They snip you in the finger to get a little blood out there so they can check things like protein levels and just how your plasma looks, and take your temperature. And once all that's done, if you clear, then excuse me, I just drank a bottle of water because that's a very important thing to do, to stay hydrated and eat well. And if everything clears in the vitals section, then you go out into this area where there's a bunch of these beds with machines next to them. You plop down in one of those beds. They get you all checked out, and they stick you with this needle. Now, if you don't like needles, this is probably not a thing to do because it's a big needle. Compared to the needles where they take a vial of blood or where they give you an injection of some sort, this is the definition of an elephant needle, like a monster needle. It has to be that big because it's taking blood in and out of you, or at least helping to facilitate that. Anyway, you get stuck with that thing that's got a tube coming out of it that goes into a machine, and this thing pulls out the blood on its own into a little container. And the blood is spun around at high speeds to separate the plasma out from it that drips down into a bag. They take out a certain amount of blood, like what is obviously nowhere close to being a dangerous amount, but they don't want to take much more than that. And then it pumps it back in once it's separated from the plasma. Depending on how much you weigh, determines how much plasma is taken out of your blood and how long of a donation that you have. Basically, for me, from being stuck to being done is roughly about an hour. And of course it was a longer process tonight because of my having a physical done beforehand, but not by much. I was impressed. Place is not super busy. The one here in my town isn't super busy like it used to be. the everything about it seems to be so streamlined now. I don't know that they could make it any quicker. Once they get to the target amount of plasma that they take out from you, then the machine returns the blood back to you for the last time, and then a saline solution is given to you as sort of a substitute for that plasma that's been removed. And your body, within like 48 hours or whatever, kind of restores that plasma, it automatically, naturally restores it. And then you can donate again. Now, in these kind of situations, if you meet all the prerequisites, if you're healthy, if you haven't had certain kinds of interactions in your life that have to do with things like going to certain countries where there's been problematic issues, I guess, with certain kinds of viruses or whatever, including the things that like they ask the questions: if you're a male, have you ever had sex with another man? Anything that leads to questions about HIV or AIDS, sexually transmitted diseases, if you've ever had sex with a prostitute or anybody that takes payment for it. It's like crazy, all these questions that they ask. But if you get through all of that kind of stuff, if everything checks out with the contents of your plasma and your blood and whatnot, and you do this, and like I said, there's that 48-hour period where your plasma restores. You can donate up to 2 times in any 7-day period, and there has to be at least 1 day separating any of those particular donations. So like for me, what I did for a long time before, and what I'm going to do again now, is Mondays and Thursdays. That gives me a couple of days in between each donation. I have to donate at least 1 time on a day when I work, but then I can donate on one of my days off. And you get paid for this. You get paid for the donation of your time. The time that you give to voluntarily give up your plasma is what you get paid for. I don't know the exact reasons for that. I'm assuming it may have something to do with why there's no taxation on any of this kind of stuff. You make money off of this, and it's not something you have to report for taxes. You get the straight up amount. Like, typically, I don't know what it is right now. I'm going to be getting a returning or new donor bonus right now for the next 5 donations, as long as they all go smooth and all that. I'll get $50 for each one of those donations for those first 5. But typically what you get is $20 for the first donation of the week. And then the second one will be more to entice you to come back. It can be anywhere from 30 to 40 or 50 or sometimes 60. I think it seems like when I was donating, you were looking at about $40 was your regular secondary donation amount. Basically, though, you can make between about $200 and $280 a month, as long as you go both times and it's successful donations. And they do a lot of perks and a lot of bonuses for lots of different reasons. Not even just because you haven't donated in a while or because you're brand new. Sometimes even if you just go all the time, you get bonuses for it. It's awesome. And that gets me kind of to the point of this, even though that's now going to be buried under all that information about donating. But the point of this video was, it's like a gamer tip. It's like a pro gamer tip, a collector tip, or an anything tip for somebody if you like to spend extra money on certain things. I like the movies and the games. I like to buy those things. And I can spend a lot of money on that kind of stuff. I can even be an irresponsible adult and spend money that I don't really have. Having this back in my life means that I'm going to be able to go back to having this extra cash for that kind of stuff, so that the paycheck goes to the bills and the rent and food and gas in the vehicle and all that kind of stuff. But I'm really glad that I've gotten back into this. I don't know why I let it go for so long. I mean, I know why it stopped for me, but why I let it go on for so long, for 3 years, all that extra cash. I mean, just roughly throwing it out there, like $3,000 or more a year. So I missed out on a lot of money. But I'm going to have it back now. I can spend that money on games, movies, going to the movies, going out to eat. Fun money, save it up for something, save it up for Christmas for my daughter. I mean, like, I can do all kinds of different things with this money. So, like I said, the pro tip I'm trying to give out for people on this, especially people in the gaming community and collecting and all that, if you find that you don't have as much extra cash to spend on this kind of stuff that you want to, look into this. See if in your town or in your area there is a place to donate plasma. BioLife isn't the only one out there in the country. There are other services that perform this. If they give some sort of compensation for your time for it, check it out. Go down there, talk to them, call, find out information, Google it, see if it's something that you can do if you're healthy for it. And if you can, it's a great way to kind of supplement your income, so to speak. And that's like I said, that's really good. Not everybody has a whole lot of money to spend on their passions and their hobbies. And sometimes there are people like myself who spend money that they don't have for it on it. And this is going to hopefully kind of help me out in a lot of ways. I can't stop buying games and movies and enjoying the things in life that make me happy. But now I can do it a little more responsibly so that I'm not blowing money that needs to go towards important things. So that's all I really wanted to do this video for. Donating plasma is awesome as long as you're healthy enough and able to do it. I can tell you that the place that I donate at has an age range of 18 to 98, weigh more than 110 pounds, and be in generally good health. And that's about all you really have to worry about. So hopefully maybe I've turned somebody on to something that would be cool for them or given you something to think about. Like I said, I'm just super glad to be back into it and doing it once more. And hopefully I won't stop again like I did this last time. So anyways, that's all I wanted to say, guys. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.